which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Larcher's Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Larcher's Electrics today.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade? To provide a world-class shopping environment where local goods and services can be provided and experienced by locals and visitors. Why is this redevelopment necessary? The renovations and expansions will revitalize the infrastructure and enhance the shopping experience for vendors, locals, and visitors. Who will be responsible for the Vendors Arcade? The arcade will continue to be operated and managed by Castries Constituency Council, who will have full responsibility for the rental and maintenance of the space. How will construction of the Vendors Arcade be managed? A phased approach will be employed to minimize disruption to daily operations. After the completion of each phase, vendors will be relocated from the former arcade, and this will continue until completion of the new facility. St. Lucia Cruise Port, investing in people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has...
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here.
As usual, is the real issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon. Our program, which airs weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM, serving you on the frequencies of 91.3 North and 91.5 South, simulcasting on NBC Television, available also via Facebook Live and YouTube streaming. Hope you're having a good day so far. For those of you who love the Parliament and its debates, well, today is such a wonderful day. But talking about the wonderful days, I think Terry began referring to it yesterday, and I have to tell you my own experience on Saturday. I was sitting in my favorite spot inside my apartment, and with a fan pointed at me. I never let the fan swing, because to me, by the time it swings to the left, I'm feeling too hot already. I don't know if fan has become a habit. And then at one point, I felt like the air changed. You know, like the cooling effect of the air. A blast of hot air was coming through the fan. And then I said, oh my goodness, I think I had the experience mostly year before, where you have a fan on and you're not sure whether it's making any sense because it's hot air, it's pushing. I hadn't really read or heard the weather and climate updates about a heat wave, but immediately I said, you see this? This is the sign. The very first sign that I discerned in 2023, that the heat wave, which was spoken about before, that it is on, because suddenly you can actually feel the change in the air. It's like something moves in the atmosphere which has changed it. I was sitting in my vehicle, as I love to do, air conditioned there. I must really check, whether this air conditioner I use in the vehicle, whether the amount of gas that I pay for in a month exceeds the amount I'll pay in an electricity bill if I use the AC that I have at home. Because they have an effect, but the bills at home, I just can't reconcile with them. Once it starts getting to 500 and up, I begin to feel, hey, something needs to happen. So sitting in my vehicle, doing my usual thing, reading, listening to news, going through so many routines. At one time, I heard the air conditioner do, it's struggling against something. And then I felt the coolness that it normally bathes me in, it kind of changed. And then yesterday, I heard Terry saying about, a heat wave has been announced or forecast for now until September. And I said, okay, I felt it. I felt it in an immediate, discernible, tangible way on my skin and in my environment. So people, be careful. And as Terry told you, always remember to stay hydrated, because it's going to impact you a lot. I know many of us, we don't like to drink water because it's a bother to go to the bathroom every time and to get up in the night. But I tell you, I prefer to get up 10 times in the night. I never do so much. Than for me to have this dehydration problem, which usually manifests itself as a headache. You wake up with a headache in the morning, and you wonder what could be causing it, and it's the dehydration that's causing it. So folks, be careful. I don't like to revisit things as if I have an obsession with them, and one of those things that the more time passes, your annoyance, if it grows rather than diminishes. But I got to say, I've given some more thought to something I said yesterday. I have close friends, associates, relatives, and so on who belong to the Seventh-day Adventist faith. Certain aspects of it, I will admit, I'm not too enamored with. But then that goes for so many other things that I'm not enamored with. And so the whole sectarianism thing, I try not to go down that road and to play it too much. But the Seventh-day Adventist Church is one of the significant in terms of size, in terms of membership, in terms of following in St. Lucia. I think it's maybe second only to Roman Catholicism, there are many Seventh-day Adventists, and I know so many people that I've often wondered whether the clergy of the Roman Catholic Church is probably not smaller. Whether the clergy, by which I mean pastors and elders or deacons and all of that in the Adventist Church, whether they don't have more than the Roman Catholic Church has priests. But that's neither here nor there. They actually run an educational institution that is at the secondary level. And I know of many other Adventist schools. I grew up in Monrepo, and there was a Seventh-day Adventist school right next to the Roman Catholic school, which was housed below the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Seventh-day Adventist Academy, many of its principals, as far as I know, have been pastors, who have been educators as well, so they've served. And I can think of names that come off my head immediately. I can think of names like Pastor Walston Charles. I can think of names, Pastor Morris. I can think of Pastor Dalston Morion. I can think of Pastor Dr. Andrew Leonce. I can think of so many of them, people that I respect, that I have a good relationship with, and I could go on and on and on. And I would hate to think that if all this impressive and extensive list of ministers, of pastors, of people who hold positions in the church, that they cannot, either individually because of good chemistry or collectively as a body, as a presbyter, as a committee, cannot prevail upon Mr. Guy Joseph to tell him that Christianity and what it represents with its doctrines of salvation and our relationship with God and our praying and our faith and our obedience, that it is too important a thing in the life, in the existence, in the destiny, in the future of mankind, for you to cheapen it, for you to debase it, for you to devalue it to something where you will tell people that you cannot be a Christian and be a supporter of this political party or of this prime minister. To me, this is debasing something that is simply too important, too much hangs on it, too much is at stake according to the belief of people for anybody to be doing that. Adventist Church, don't tell me you'll have some... And you see, if it was just a Seventh-day Adventist doing it, if it was just Joachim Henry, who is a Seventh-day Adventist, but I don't think he holds any ministerial or clerical position in the church, but not a man who is, to the best of my knowledge, regularly taking to the pulpit. If he's not a fully ordained pastor, but he's an elder, he's a minister of sorts, a pulpit presence, a man who has authority, who has authorization, who has the calling, who has the confirmation, who has the approval to be on the pulpit. To every week like that, to be pushing the message to people, that if you see, they say that God is the one who causes people, God could never choose Philip J. Pierre. And anybody who supports Philip, basically like anybody who supports Philip J. Pierre and backs him, like their ticket to hell is already paid. I have to ask myself, when Mr. Guy Joseph is doing this, he doesn't need to do it in the church and say, okay, he never said so in the church, in the pulpit, he's on the political platform, he said it. The Christian life is one life, my friend. You can't be, a person who is preaching blasphemy and false doctrine and all these kinds of things and then you going into the church and you're preaching something else. How do Labour Party supporters, Adventists who are Labour Party supporters, of which Terry and I can just reel off names that will amount to the scores, the hundreds and so on, just off our heads, fathers. How would they feel sitting in such a church? Would they feel welcome? You are preaching a message of condemnation to them, not because they are thieves, not because they are extortionists, not because they are bobolists, not because they are, the things, adulterers and whatever else we may consider, not because of any of those things. But you basically are telling them they're evil people, they are condemned. Salvation, forgiveness is not for them if they support. What kind of divisiveness is that? Who is it who can be allowed to be a minister and allowed to return to the pulpit who's so divisive within the boundaries of his own sectarian or denominational faith? Who does that? Where is that person's heart really? That he teaches, instead of preaching about the common salvation that we hold, that is preaching a divisive message. Is such a person honestly contending for the faith which was delivered once for all time to the saints? Is this person really committed to doing that? That he can be one person in church and a different person on the pulpit? How are you pulling people and drawing people, like the Apostle Paul said, his aim is to bring people to Christ. That is what it is, And so he becomes all things to all people, not, different things to the same people, all St. Lucians or all Seventh-day Adventists. You pastors, you ministers, you mission, I think there's a Seventh-day Adventist mission, whatever they are. I cannot badger you. I know it is a time where everybody wants to tell pastors and preachers and priests what to do. You know, people are like that, They don't listen to anything you have to say for 4 years, and in the 5th year, everybody wants to tell you, I hope you preach a sermon. They want you to preach ad hominem sermons that are directed. I'm not in this square like that to ever come and tell you how to preach sermons that are targeted at people. And I understand foolish things will be said. I understand magie will be uttered. That is why it's called the silly season. And I understand we're going to be seeing silly things, and hearing silly things being said and done. I understand all of that. But not when a man who is charged, who has taken up the charge, who is a presence on preaching the gospel from the pulpit to people in church, when he mounts a political platform more than once, is repeatedly debasing and devaluing, This is worse than what the Apostle Paul said in his time was happening. The Jews, the Judaizers, who would not obey their own law, who would do all kinds of evil things to the point where God, turned against them. Like it says, God who once saved the people out of slavery afterward destroyed them because they were repeatedly doing the very same things that the surrounding people. This is worse than the people who are going around like following Paul and Barnabas and Timothy and look around to tell them, unless you follow the law of Moses and you get circumcised, you cannot be saved. This thing that those fellas are preaching about Christ, it's a false doctrine. This is worse than those Judaizers, because what we have is a politicizer who's coming and telling people, unless you support the UWP, unless you belong to the UWP, unless you're against Labour and against Philip J. Pierre, you're not a Christian, you don't have salvation, you're not going. This is what it's tantamount to. This is what it's tantamount to. Blasphemous. Denigrating of Christianity and its salvation and the death of Christ on the cross for people, who repent, who believe the gospel, who obey as a result, and so on. So now it doesn't matter whether you are an adulterer. It doesn't matter whether you are any of the other things that Paul listed to the Galatians, that those who practice such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is the United Workers' Party. So, Mr. Joseph, were you in hell in the days when you were a Labour Party member and supporter? When you were the campaign manager, I think, for Minister Rambali? Did you only attain salvation when you became a flabo? Is that the case? That you only became, this is a very, I've never seen something so debased as that being preached. From a political party is not a church. Politics is not a religion. And if you're a Christian, you should, of course, bring to bear on your politics the things which have to do with church and godliness and bring those things there. But not to take the divisiveness and the polarization and the partisanry of politics and superimpose it on the Christianity. It should be the reverse. It should be the reverse. What I see is trying to take your political tribalism and superimpose it on your Christianity. Anybody who's a Labour Party supporter who wants to visit your church, I would not be surprised and I would not blame them, and they can be forgiven for feeling unwelcome, for feeling hesitant, about stepping foot into your church. If from the moment they enter the feeling that the message that is beaming, even if it is a tacit, non-verbal one, that it is one of condemnation. I was out of St. Lucia at the time, but it seems like what I was hearing was true, where you were actually accusing a church brother because he was a political opponent of sacrificing his son in order to win an election. Like he gave the son up to the devil so that he could have won an election with absolutely no proof whatsoever of that. Just for political effect, you still lost the election anyway. But to accuse somebody of something so heinous when all the evidence is that the young man suffered some cardiac issue, which his father, I believe, so it probably is something that is, how do you call it, congenital, that runs in the family and so on. How uncharitable, how mean, how unkind, can a person be to someone else who walks in the power of the shed blood of Christ just as he? It doesn't mean we don't disagree on things. But for you to say that about somebody and now to continue to beam out a message to people that, it's not whether you believe in Christ or follow Christ and have repented, it's whether you are Flambeau or Labour. That's a minister of the gospel doing that. Terry, sorry about that.
No, that's okay, man.
Sorry about that.
This is important because...
But, the more, one of those things you see it, And the more you listen to it, the more you hear it, the worse it sounds.
And
This is a guy, for all the way people have gone after him, I've been fairly
lenient.
He's not a guy I've gone after. And you know why? Precisely because of his religious profession. There is something in the Bible which basically says an older man, he's not older than me in age, I don't think, and it doesn't matter. But if somebody holds the position of an elder, of a pastor, be very reserved, be very measured in how you go and condemn and criticize such a person. So he's a guy I've kind of, measured how I speak of him and this kind of thing because of his profession and his of godliness and this kind of. And I said, look, if this man is innocent of the things that I have heard him be, you've never heard me talk about him stealing or anything like that. But if he is innocent of it, as he claims to be and whatever, then my condemnation will be even greater that I went and I dumped on him for those things and joined in the accusation. I think it even says, do not receive an accusation against an older man except it be established by so many witnesses and this kind of thing. Yeah. So I've been kind of, hesitant, reluctant to go full blast, at this fellow. But when I heard this kind of, and it's not to say it is said once, it is being said over like he has decided a plank of his campaign is to do that sort of thing.
That is his line of attack, and that is his strategy to use religion to mask. He's so holy. But I'm telling you straight.
Yeah.
They say don't judge. But if I'm invited to any church, any building, anything, and this man is there and he's in the pulpit, I'm walking out because this man cannot preach to me.
I don't second guess people, but do not be surprised if he listens to what I have said there and what you have said, and you will expect he will go back on next Sunday or whatever time they have the thing, and will go back in a manner that shows he's modified. He's probably going to double down, he's probably going to come,
Seventh-day Adventist. Now I have a lot of. There are people I look up to, people like Robert Lewis, Dr. Robert Lewis. I look up to this guy because this guy, because Christianity is not what you say; it's a lifestyle. You understand? It's the example you set. The example you set. I remember my late pastor, rest his soul, Pastor Cornelius Robinson, says, "Man, people must say, your life must tell people, follow me as I follow Christ, and nobody can follow Guy Joseph into any religion. I don't care. Pastors, I don't know if he's giving you all the filthy look at the envelope, the type envelope is thick. I don't know. But this man, you should have put this man, excommunicated, or tell this man, just remain in the pew, silent. But this man is on the pulpit preaching, and I'll go there and listen to this guy. This guy is vulgar, he's vile, he's everything that is wrong with Christianity. Yet, he has I'm a Bible student. But I've told you already, being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to insist, you aren't. So anytime you are Bible, man, you're not that, man. You know what you told us about your grandfather and the sorcery and the witchcraft?
That was his grandfather.
But I think that's what has been passed on.
In fairness to him,
that's what he said.
He didn't talk about himself having any kind of facouange.
But
I don't want to hold him responsible.
No, but you must listen to what comes out. Out of your mouth. That's what, what goes into you doesn't defile you, It's what comes out. So what comes out tells me who you are. And everything about you, man, is diabolical. It's vulgar. It's vile. It's totally against everything Christ has preached. And I told you yesterday, Mahatma Gandhi said, I like your Christ, but I don't like your Christians. And he was, your Christians are so unlike your Christ. And he must have been directing at that guy. So I don't care what he says. He's there always. He says he's the most honest politician. Your lifestyle tells me you're not a Christian. So all the time you go there, There are Seventh-day Adventists I really admire. Dr. Robert Lewis.
And you know something about both Roman Catholicism and Seventh-day Adventism in St. Lucia? At the interaction level, the manner in which they engage with the wider public, they both avoid you. I have never heard any Seventh-day Adventists denied entry to St. Joseph's Convent or St. Mary's College or whatever because they Seventh-day
they were assimilated
or anybody like that. I've never heard of it. Same way. At SD Academy, I've never heard of them denying anybody because ils sont catholiques. Maman papa aussi Rasta. I've never heard of any of them pushing away people. You understand? So for anybody now to come and to be using politics as the means of classification and the means of differentiation, that if you vote for Philippe Pierre,
you're not a Christian.
Honestly, who are you to sit in judgment of people and to determine their relationship with God on the basis of a political membership
Philip
card.
has never signed any Pajoa letter. You know, I told you already, if you have no integrity in private life, you will not have integrity in public life. For the kind of things you have said, it tells me you're not. If you don't eat, you will not die. You refuse to help people in the hour of need. You know what I mean? If they don't eat, they'll not die. You think people will give us money to give people money, and you want to come and profess. And we also have another situation, you know. I mean, I told you on early morning in my trains, people have accosted me because people consider they go to the Babono Catholic Church, and there are people of all beliefs there. Those people who are not affiliated to any political party, UWPs, SLPs, but it seems as though, you know, the UWPs have made that their own. And it seems as though people are partial to one side. Now that cannot be good. I can be a preacher and I seem, you know, the perception is that I'm partial to a side. That throws off the other parishioners and the worshippers because they come there to worship God, not to be involved in petty partisan politics. And the pastors and the priests, you have to, you know, because they tell you already 2 sets of people you must never trust.
What do you want the pastors and the priests to do?
No, man, you have to be neutral. You know, you have to be.
No, okay.
Because you have people. No, you have to be neutral.
If people choose to inundate a church in
No,
the yellow,
no,
I don't expect the priest to tell them get out.
No. You come there, that's your business. You come and worship. You come and worship. But I'll preach my homily, whatever homily on whatever Sunday, because you know in the Catholic Church is a special thing. You preach. I mean, if you decide to go there and thing. But when you begin, it's the perception is that you favor him and you pose him with the side, and you know, you know, making it look as though
when you say posing with your side,
you're taking pictures.
If, for example, I come to the church in my red shirt, and I come and I request of the officiating priest after mass that I want to take a selfie, whatever, with him.
Oh,
should he tell
no,
me?
No. Yeah, the selfie. But you see, sometimes, Shelton, you have to be discerning. You know, when pictures go out there, and it seems to be, you know, people label you a politician in a cassock.
Yeah, well,
you have to be careful with these things. Now, I'm not blaming. I'm not saying that is the situation. But you see, when parishioners meet me on the road and they tell me, and they're a little unhappy about that, you have to check yourself because the perception is important. And that's powerful. I'm not saying that is the situation, but parishioners are saying, but I am not at UWP. I go to church to worship, and it looks as though my church. And then you see fellas, and that's the next thing, you know. You see fellas going for the sacrament of Holy Communion.
People have been doing these things for a long time.
Yes, but you could just see that is performance.
Believing that church things that they can use it for some kind of
occult
matter. What I will say to that, if anybody wants to do, I've heard things about. Let me give you one story about Munka Vole Batem Timamai. That they go and they christen a child, but when they take the child, they have a 50 cents in their hand and they put the child's head on the 50 cents and they do what. And you know, all the stories. Now I grew up, like I say, between Denry and Monrepo.
You're right.
And these are the rural areas where I used to hear a lot of stories about the Gaji and the Malfinte and all these kind of things. All I can say is that Jesus Christ gave an undertaking, you know. Upon this rock I will build my church. You know, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Yeah. So people can come with their wrong motives as long as the minister and the congregants and so on, you know, the elect for whom those days will be shortened, that they keep walking faithfully, that God will not allow evil to overcome his people, no matter how much people do it. Yeah. So I'm saying, if I am a priest, and I'm speaking only from my, and somebody, a Terry Fenelon comes, whether if he's orange shirt or red shirt, and says, Father, or Pastor, can I do a selfie with you? Yeah. You know, to be nice and pleasant and courteous, I'll do it. But if you're doing it for wrong purposes, you will be foiled. You know?
So that's what I'm saying, the perception, and one must be discerning. And, you know, you don't give off the impression that, you know what I mean, you're favoring a side or a thing. And that is important, you know. And fellas go there and you could see you're not of the faith, but you're going to take communion, you know, and you're not respecting the people's sacrament. That's, let me tell you, for some Catholics, that is very serious, you know. And they take serious offense because I'm telling you, when I was accosted in the morning, I was like, I could feel the hurt. You know, the pain. Now, I'm not saying it was deliberate or the priest or whatever did that deliberately. No. But you see, people are watching and they're saying, but what's going on? You understand? So we have to be very careful with these kinds of things. That's all I'm saying. You understand? Do not allow yourself, do not allow your good to be evil spoken of.
Okay.
You understand? You have to be wise as serpents. Is wise as serpents and harmless as doves.
You have to be innocent as doves.
You must be cautious. You have to be discerning, and you have to make certain calls.
And let me tell you, Terry. Sometimes all this church grandstanding and showboating and trying to get the photo up with the priest and so on. Sometimes it's being done deliberately to provoke reactions from people who support the government and things like that. Then you begin to criticize the priest and you begin to say negative things about Father Albert and about this. And then before you know it, they have provoked you into creating this kind of rift,
division,
between the church and so on. And so people who support the government and Philip J.P. are one of the most easygoing men. Philip J.P. is the perfect balance between intensity and easygoing. He's a man, he speaks with passion, but he's a man, he breaks into a smile and says, "Oh, don't worry about that, man." You understand? Look at how he dealt with such light-footed, the
medical people?
Yeah, not the medical, the halls of justice.
Yeah.
All people are hoping that something
there will
will
be
develop.
some conflict with the church and the government.
We'll move to the other side. But, don't let this kind of things happen. And I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if all this craze for photo op and coming out in colors to make it look like we take over the church and this kind of thing. We should never fall for that.
And something that people don't know, Philip J. Pierre goes to church every Sunday.
Exactly.
The man doesn't pretend. He doesn't say anything. He just goes to, he takes his sacrament, He's a faithful worshiper at the Masha, the Sacred Heart?
Yes.
Church at Masha. He goes there every Sunday, as long as he's on island. He doesn't miss his service. But he doesn't boast and say, "I'm a student of the Bible." He knows the Bible because he listens to the homilies. He takes his communion like anybody. When he goes there, he doesn't go there as prime minister. He goes there as a normal parishioner because that's where he worships.
That is why I keep on saying, Labour Party people have every reason to follow the leader.
That's right.
Take your cue, take your lead from Philip J. Pierre, and avoid being provoked into overreaction. Because a lot of those things, that's what they are intended to do.
But
overreaction.
But we'll not fall for that.
And I'll tell you this, Seventh-day Adventists, if you're in a church where Guy Joseph preaching, and he's saying the kind of things, or even part of what he says on the platform in church, I don't encourage you to get up and to cuss him out in the church and to hold a placard or whatever. You decide how you're going to deal with it, how you're going to channel your complaint. If you want to walk out, is you doing it, is your choice and so on. I'm not encouraging overreaction. You see, the greatest defeat for such people is when what they are aiming at fails to come to pass. They want to create division. They realize St. Lucians remain united. They realize there's a core of faithful people, committed people who come to church who don't let those things shake them. At the end of the day, your greatest weapon is one where nobody can touch you, It is called the booth. That booth where you go and fold that piece of paper called the ballot and put it into that slot called the ballot box. Nobody can harangue or harass you or intimidate you or gaslight you inside there. When you go inside there, only you and God inside there. You cast your ballot, that's what you should stay focused on. Where you're going to cast your ballot and the reasons where you're going to cast it. Not anybody shouting and telling you, if you vote a ballot for Philip J. Pierre, you're going to hell. Kotea, Kimon Gidisa, Kimon Uye, Kijouye, Kijezikuye, Kinajouye, ou di mwen kay lan fe, pis mwen vote ba moun ko opose. Gasa Korea. Real issues powered by Blue Waters. We take our first break. We'll be back shortly.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell V4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knight's Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place, Jeremy Street, Castries. Citygate Bar, the CDC opposite the market. Plants Place, Denry Highway. Arlette Supermarket, Soufre. The Release Stress Bar, Labrie Highway. Cool Joint Bar, Victoria Schwazel. Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all-access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only one entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Waters is on this Tuesday, the 19th of August 2025, with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon and our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Of course, Parliament is meeting today, and we want to wish a happy birthday to one of the elected members of the St. Lucia House of Assembly.
Yes, Emma.
Terry?
Well, you know already my favorite person, one of my favorite politicians, Auntie Emma. We affectionately call her that. It's her birthday today. I also think it's the birthday of Mr. Bradley Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
He's my favorite, one of my favorite punching bags, Bradley. But it's his birthday today, so let me take off the gloves today.
Emma is your favorite friend. Bradley is your favorite enemy.
Enemy, yes. What an irony, eh?
Yeah.
So I think it's Emma's birthday. Emma, Auntie Emma, happy birthday to you. And Bradley, I'm taking off my gloves today for you. I'm putting them down today, but just for today to wish you a happy birthday. But they'll be back on later. All right. So Shelton, it's the day after now, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I did promise you will be looking at the great Danny. I'm already calling him great, Danny Butcher. But we had a little technical problem with the video. So tomorrow, our technician Jaquan will be splicing that up properly, and then we will be taking it in parts. But let me introduce you to the man who looks like in time will be able to fill Dr. Anthony's shoes properly. You understand? Let's roll video one. I cannot do justice. His speech is, it came there unscripted. You understand? There was not the land of people that light, the land of. I have to laugh at these things sometimes. The fellas on that side, the fellas on the other side, they come there and talk all nonsense because they're not smart. But this young man came in there, Dr. Anthony's replacement, and with his two hands, in the spirit of the great orators of the St. Lucia Labour Party, was able to speak from the heart and able to deliver the featured speaker. And I was so impressed with the 3 points. I could elucidate on them, but I want you to hear it from him. That's his speech. And I can summarize and I can elaborate, but I will do that after you hear from him. And we'll do that tomorrow because we are not able to splice and dice up the video as we would like. So Jaquan has promised that he'll dice it up nicely for me. And Shelton, that should be the basis of the program tomorrow. It will be Danny's hour. And if you notice, Danny and Shelton look alike. You got some you know a lot. You got some, and they both speak so eloquently. So that you sure not related, man?
I'll have to,
somebody, you know what I mean?
I'll have to investigate.
Yeah, investigate that, man.
I suspect the young man must be way more handsome than you.
So we tomorrow you need to head out and invite the other young people. In the household, there are other young people around. Tell them tomorrow, you have a feature and you want them to listen to a dynamic speaker, a man who promises to deliver, a man who is the future. You could say the St. Lucia Labour Party. That party is in good hands. We're not a side. We are a party, and the prospects are looking good. He was there, and Shanda. There's a picture. You can put up a picture. Picture number 1, I think it is, picture number 1. We're in good hands. I was trying to get Lisa in that frame, but I couldn't get Lisa in that frame. Because we have...
I have to say, Shanda really impressed
Oh,
me.
yes, we're going to deliver...
somebody who didn't have any previous platform exposure. I mean, she took to that stage
like a pro.
Duck took
man,
water, you know, she just, you know.
Yeah, so let's put up that picture there, you know, two of the bright stars. Well, in a sense, you know Lisa. Lisa has been around. She has her own program.
Yes.
And she has been emceeing all the shows, so we know her. But she's also there, and hopefully 2 announcements are to be made. Shelton,
yes.
Fingers crossed. We are very hopeful. I wish that will be made tonight so we can announce that tomorrow, Shelton, and we can think that. But let's put up the picture number 1 and 2 bright stars. So Shanda also delivered, man. Oh, Dr. Harak Singh, the St. Lucia Little Party. We are in good hands. We are, you know, we are there for the future. So thank God we have young people of integrity. Notice the first thing that Mr. Butcher did? He tendered his resignation. There is no cloud, no doubt. Now, yesterday I said something about Kakal. I wasn't sure. I didn't attack him. I just asked whether somebody informed me. Now, don't think I have anything against Kakal, you know. As a matter of fact, boy, I like Kakal's music, you know. Boy, Kakal has some of the nicest songs, you know, and Double Entendre, and great music, you know. I don't think I've met him personally. Hopefully we'll have a drink. You understand? So don't get the wrong impression.
I don't think Kakal would be interested in drink and more interested in something to eat. And
you
know what he likes to eat.
Yeah, Chateau. Chateau.
Make sure you get that.
Yes. Touché, Shelton. Yeah. So we have 2 dynamic people there, and hopefully we'll have 2 more and stuff, and the slate will be completed. So we're going to do that, all right? So I was saying, Kakal, I think they said he has retired. I hope I have that right. Somebody called me from Viva and said he had a Woody Freeman 2 weeks ago, and he says he was just on the verge of retirement. So I suspect he has retired. That is why he has thrown his hat in the ring and so on. So, because Kakal is a man of law and order, so I expect him to do the right thing. Yes. You understand? Elisha, I understand your predicament. You don't have money. The fellas have not given you a cent. So you just continue, because what you said, fellas, don't forget me, you know, I can still do some jobs and I'll send you the invoice. So I know the fellas have not given you money. You know why? You're not a high value candidate. The other candidates, high value. So they got whatever up front. But the fellas look at you as a marshmallow. So they have not given you a cent. So you have to say, well, don't forget I'm an entertainer. And when you employ me, I will send my invoice. That is the situation there. So here we have 2 handsome people there, beautiful, handsome, whatever you want to use. The future of our party is bright. And Shanda, you delivered, and I believe you'll deliver more, you know. You'll deliver for us what we want. We need to get rid of that carbuncle on our body politic, and I think you will deliver that to us. That is the gift that we expect. Miku South, you will follow your doctor, your goodly doctor, and do your civic duty. Rid us of this carbuncle. And you know when you have to go to the doctor to
absolutely
to get that
lance it
away, to lance that and let all the pus come out and stuff so that it can heal. And that is what she's going to do. She's going to lance that carbuncle. The pus will come out and it will heal, and the land will heal. So we'll no longer hear all that kind of nonsense and the Sunday funnies and all this stupidness and stuff. You're all outside protesting. You're all attacking a man. The man defends himself. Zodvili Healy. Hey, you don't like women. How are you disrespecting women? The man put a question. Is a question the man put, eh? You answer the question. Anyway, let's go on to something nice, Shelton, in the house. Yes. Now, I said you about 10. We don't need 10. Just one. Just put up any one. With the prices, the VAT, exempt, and 0 rated. Now, I'm not going to explain. Dr. Carlton Augustine did that. Emma has done that twice. So
Richard Frederick has done it.
Richard Frederick, we have done that. So just put up anyone. Let me see if I can read it from the guy. I don't know which one you're putting up. I'll have to read it from the screen. And the members, the people from the Chamber of Commerce, they're out in the field, Shelton.
Yes.
And as I said, they started with Massey because Massey has the capability. They have the software. They are able to react more quickly than the little shops, the mums and pop shops. They can do that. You know, they can react more quickly and bring down the savings. So let's look at a before and after VAT impact on your grocery bill. Tomato ketchup, 454 grams. Before it was 1760. Now it is 1564. I'm not going to read all. You could see it there. You could freeze it if you wanted. I'll put it in the group. Chicken luncheon meat, 200 grams, $6.99. So it has gone down to $6.21 savings. And the savings add up. So all of these things, when you go to the cashier and thing, your bill that used to be maybe $180 might be $140 because the savings add up. You understand? Sausage, $8.45, now $7.51. That's a nice drop. Chicken hot dog sausage, 200 grams, $6.99, $6.21. So you see, there are reductions there. Turkey wings, 1 kilogram, used to be $21.95, now $19.50. You know what I mean? So you could see the savings there. Valrico peanut butter. I don't know when last I had peanut butter, you know. $19.25, $17.11. Corned beef, $10.89. Now $9.61. That's almost a difference of $1. That's a big drop. Peanut butter, 8 ounce, a drop of 75 cents, and so on. Now there are others. How many I sent you there? 11? 11 11 of them, I think. We don't put it up all. You get the picture. If you want them, we can send them. You know? All right? So, things are taking effect. The government is responding. They have already removed the 6% service charge on goods. So, at least 6%. That's what they could do. That has come off. And then now, they have made items. Now, the Honorable Emma Hippolyte on Friday said, yes, they said 70, but in actual fact, there are 174 items that are zero rated and VAT exempt. All right, so she explained that on Friday. So it's 174 items that are zero rated or VAT exempt. So your government is doing all that it can. So when people talk about, I can't shop, that's magic. All right, there are things we cannot control. We do not control cost, insurance, and freight. We cannot control that. The things we can control is the excise tax, which has been removed, the VAT, which has been removed, and so on. The retail markup, we have them to be reasonable. Don't charge 100%. Yeah, you could go to 50. You'll still make some money. And today again in the House, you know, the VAT exemption on sanitary napkins and stuff, it ended on the 1st of August because it was only for a time period. The House now, they have voted to make it permanent, to make the VAT exemption permanent. So period poverty, that is something that we have tackled. And don't forget, Guyana just did it on Sunday. Well, they have not done it yet. President Ufan Ali has said if re-elected, he will be removing, his party will be removing all the VAT and the taxes on sanitary napkins and female products like that. So it has not been done yet. There's a promise to do it. In St. Lucia, we have already done it. You understand? We have already done it. Now, Shelton, I think I have 5 minutes. Let me deliver from Titus. Yeah, you could put up the tale of two prime ministers for me, please?
Your favorite politician.
And then we'll open the lines. Yeah, I know, Brother Lee, you want us to open a little earlier, but sometimes, just bear with us for a few days.
Your favorite politician.
Yeah, Titus, man. I heard Titus I didn't get to listen to the first conference today, talking about crime. Guys, so stop trying to use crime to score political points. We are doing what we are. You heard the policeman yesterday, I forgot his name.
Is it De Freitas, right?
De Freitas, right?
You know what I liked about what De Freitas said? For the first time, and he said it almost like en passant, inadvertently, where he said this is about factions,
right.
Criminal factions. So he gave us a little insight that it is gang warfare. And that's what I've been saying.
Right.
When you talk to people, tell them, look, all indications that we have is pointing in the direction of gang and turf warfare.
Right.
You understand? So people can have an idea of what is going on. That is quite different as opposed to if it is something of a personal revenge. Because, when somebody is dead, I believe you can say that this person was being looked at as a possible suspect in a crime, So it is possible that the individual... You're not saying that that's what it is.
Yes, but...
So people can have an idea. And that is one of the things I believe that you can point out to would-be criminals, that when you go out and gun down somebody, you now have a target on your back, You now are maybe a walking dead man because there are people looking to take revenge for their loved one and so on. And for the first time, exactly what I've been asking for, he gave it, but it seemed like it was almost inappropriate. A passant kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead,
Yes, you could leave that on the screen for a little while, let's check one, because I just want to talk to Titus. And I believe Titus has, he's in a quandary, not a quarry, a quandary. Because Titus, as I have said before, from now on, you're under the microscope. And I believe you will become something that you are not, because you will have to try to do everything to please your leader. Mm-hmm. You see that piece of information you gave there? That Philip J. Pierre is measured and steady, as opposed to your leader who is spontaneous and reckless. Alan is unforgiving, you know, and he has marked you for extinction. Now, Titus, I'm going to expose your campaign strategy. First of all, you have not told the people of Babono anything about what you're going to do for them. And I'll tell you why. You have come into politics not with any noble intention. You have entered the political fray for one purpose only: to try to win a seat, to see if you could unseat and overthrow Alan Chastney. So in other words, what you are telling the people of Babono...
To me, that's a noble intention.
That's the way we look at it.
Well,
but you're supposed to enter politics to try to help people.
No, but to me,
no, but
in the particular situation,
in that particular situation,
to me, try and do. I'm just joking.
I know. But you see, what you are saying is this: you came there with a selfish motivation. You are telling the people of Babono, vote for you so that you could help yourself. And how you want to help yourself? By becoming leader. So if they vote for you and you win, you will try to overthrow Alan Chastney. So it's not anything you do for them, because your philosophy is that, you know, Philip J. Pierre is a very nice guy. He does not believe in the Belrose doctrine. So when you win, he will make available to you the CDB funds and stuff, so you'll be able to do things for the people in the community. That is your whole strategy, you know. So you say, help me. You're telling the people, vote for me so I, Titus Prevail, can help myself to leadership of the side. Babono people don't fall for that. If this man want to vie for leadership, let him go and fight. We're not electing you. We're not voting for you so that you could go and fight for leadership of any party. That's not a noble. That's not noble. You have to enter politics to try to help people. You have not told the people of Babono how you're going to improve their lives, what it is that you're going to do. Everything is that, you know, you're talking about helping yourself. And now that Alan Chastney has his eye on you because of what you said, you have damaged his chances and the chances of the United Workers' Party. Right now, anytime reporters come to you, you'll be engaging in what you call verbal gymnastics. You will hesitate to speak the truth, what you know to be true. You will try everything possible to try to please this guy. So you will say things you know to be untrue. And I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you. We'll be listening and we'll be taping, because I know you. You're supposedly a good guy, an honest guy. But right now, you have crossed your boss. And your boss doesn't like it. Because, you see, this will be on T-shirts and flyers. And everywhere we're going to go. We're going to remind people of what you said. And you are so correct. That's the apt description. You have categorized that so expertly and nicely and superbly. I could not have done that. Had I done that, people would dismiss me. Who am I? Had Shelton said that, I would dismiss Shelton. Mm-hmm. But coming from you, former permanent secretary, top government official, high-ranking Flabo official, a man who served at CARICOM, that carries weight. And so you have categorized for us what Alan Chastney is, what Philip J. Pierre is. And now going forward, every word you utter will record, because now I know you are in a quandary. You are in an untenable situation. You cannot speak the truth, because the truth will continue to hurt Alan. Because we have had that conversation. I know you have forgotten. I know what you think of Alan. It has not changed. And so going forward, you'll be engaging in all kinds of verbal gymnastics to try to please this guy. But in the process, you will become something that you are not. So by that statement, your spine has been ripped and you become just like Bradley, a spineless wonder, saying things you know to be untrue to please your master. But we'll be watching you.
Okay. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. It's 1:30. Let's take our last commercial break. And when we come back, the telephone lines will be open for your calls. And indeed, we'll look at some of your messages. If you send them, which I'm always certain that you will, and for that matter, have already done. So don't go away.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only 1 entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you for staying with the Real Issues on this Tuesday. The telephone lines are open for your calls. You can WhatsApp call us on 758 get our area code 487-9849. That's 487-9849. And you can also reach us on our landline number, which is 4533-911. We're taking your calls from now until 2 o'clock. Jaquan, I see you've pressed that red light button. Does that mean we have someone on the line? He says we do. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Brother Cherry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, comrade.
And Brother Dequan, good afternoon. Or Shaquan. Shelton, if there is one minister of government that I will put my neck on a block for, is Alfred Prosper. You see that one you see there? In my view, Alfred Prosper is a very humble, genuine, loving, kind young man. To me, I cannot ascribe any negativity to him. That's the person. All you see that man is an affable man. He always smiling, jovial. He's a genuine man. And there is a video in circulation where a Flabo supporter saying how because of $300, Alfred Prosper has to move his picture. Excuse me, sir. If Alfred Prosper need a picture from you, when he give you that contribution, that is taxpayer money, Papa. Alfred Prosper need to show accountability. And then later on you come in for a few more dollars saying how you will bend Alfred. Excuse me. The people of January South made a very good choice. They made a very good choice in putting Mr. Alfred Prosper there to represent them. And he had never failed them. And the way I see Alfred Prosper in January South is an upgrade to what was there. So I'm asking the people of January South, when the Prime Minister ring that bell, to re-elect Alfred Prosper. Alfred Prosper have been a very good Minister of Agriculture. He have helped many farmers. And the farmers have nothing bad to say about him, and only good thing. So give Alfred Prosper another chance to represent them. Now I want to switch to Danny Butcher and Harak Singh and Lisa. When I saw Miss Harak Singh, Shelton and Terry, and I saw Danny Butcher, I said to myself, what kind of flecky candidates that the Labour Party? Gasa, when I listened to Harak Singh spoke on Sunday, then I listened to Lisa come there. Then Danny Butcher top it up there. That is three powerful candidates, you know. The people of St. Lucia, Labour is in good hands, you know. That is a powerful succession plan that they are there, you know. Danny Butcher remind me of Dr. Martin Luther King, you know. A powerful man. Powerful people that they have there. Well educated, willing, and ready to serve. Now the people of Mikud South, Jean Mikud South, il est pour dump Alan Chasney. It is time to get rid of Alan Chasney. It is time to get rid of Santa Claus. It is time to give fresh blood like Miss Harak Singh a chance to continue serving y'all. Harak Singh is one of y'all. Give the lady a chance to continue to represent y'all. Give Lisa a chance. We cannot afford to go back to the era of Guy Joseph. That's my contribution this afternoon. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay. We have another call on the line straight away. You're on the air. Real issues. Hello?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes, I endorse what Brother Gaspar was saying, especially with Danny. Yeah, Danny Butcher, I'm very impressed. He's a young man I know personally. We attend the same church, and every time we have a function, we have something in the church, especially when it comes to youth. He's a great speaker, so I wasn't surprised. And I like, you see the way he started on the right note. We don't have time for mepui. He gives people substance, give the young people something to think about. Like my friend saying, when the side comes is mepui, they giving people and try to tarnish people's reputation. But you could see the difference. I mean, clearly anybody that follow the party would see that. Yeah, there's a bright future in the party, and I'm very impressed. with the candidates, yeah, that was selected. Yeah, I think they all gave a good impression of themselves. Yes, and we need to stop giving that bad Ventis. Yeah, he's getting too much exposure. Every time I hear that and I listen to that, my blood is just boiling. We're giving that bad Ventis too much exposure. God will deal with him in his own time. Okay, have a good day, gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
4879849 and 4533911. We have someone else on the line. Real issues.
Good afternoon, Terry, Shelton.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
You know, guys, just before I tuned into your show, I listened to what is happening in the House. And the member for Mikud South, Alan Shasney, was on the floor. He was making his contribution. And gentlemen, in true style, he tried to obfuscate the differences between the 2.5% removal from the 15% VAT during his tenure, and the 2.5% levy that this government imposed on certain goods for health and security reasons, as well as the goods that this government exempted from VAT, as well as those goods that the government zero rated. Gentlemen, one, and people must understand those issues and not allow people like Alan Shasney to fool them or confuse them into believing that what he says is true. Now, one, it is a fact. Nobody can dispute that the Alan Shasney regime from 2016 to 2021 did remove 2.5% VAT from the 15% VAT. Not so?
Yes.
Okay. Gentlemen, the reality on the ground was and still is, people were saying, and I don't shop for groceries. Well, I hardly shop for groceries. My wife does that. But my wife and a lot of other women I know, whom I spoke with and still speak with in terms of supermarket prices, they're saying that, look, they don't see any real difference in terms of the prices before the removal of the 2.5% VAT and the prices after the 2.5% VAT. In fact, what they're saying is, if anything, the prices keep going up higher and higher. Now, here is what obtains. Goods that are not under price control. You cannot say to no government can say to any distributor, any seller, this is what you must sell the goods at. This is the price at which you must sell the goods. Those sellers are the ones who determine what they price their goods at. So even if you remove 2.5% VAT from those goods, those business people will still sell their goods at whatever price they want to sell them. So, for example, let us say before removal of the 2.5% VAT, a parcel of let us say lentils was selling for $4.50. The 2.5% is removed. Okay? The price can still show that the VAT is 12.5%. But guess what? The price can also show that the price has gone up to $4.73. It can show that, and that is what people's consumers were saying and still saying from the time that 2.5% was removed. What the sellers are saying is, look, boy, in terms of the CIF, the prices of these things change. Whether it's transportation, whether it's fuel, whether it's whatever. the prices of those things change. And who can say no? And who can say no to them? But that was the reality, and that is still the reality. Okay, the other thing, gentlemen, since this thing about the VAT exempt and the zero rated goods came up, I listened to the Prime Minister, I listened to the Minister for Commerce, I listened to Carlton Augustine, and I also spoke to one of my friends. He's now at CARICOM, but he was a director at the Consumer Affairs Department for a number of years, so he knows those things. Look, I heard Alan Shastney in the House trying to say that, look, this 2.5% zero rated on zero rated goods makes absolutely no sense. Gentlemen, the minister explained the difference. Carlton Augustine explained the difference, and my friend explained the difference to me. The Prime Minister explained the difference. On VAT-exempt goods, VAT-exempt, and anybody can call to say, well, Andrew, Antoine, you're wrong. But here is what I understood. On the VAT-exempt goods, business people still pay the VAT to the government. Consumers do not pay the VAT. But the business people still pay the VAT to the government. Clear so far, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. On the zero-rated goods, on the zero-rated goods, consumers pay no VAT. Now, although the business people still pay the VAT up front, but what happens is they can then claim that VAT back from the government on the zero-rated goods. And that is why Minister Emma Hippolyte said she and her department are watching to see whether those business people are now going to pass on those savings to consumers, because they are now benefiting directly from the zero-rated goods, because they can now claim the VAT that they've paid on those goods from the government. And therein lies the difference. Terry, like you mentioned earlier, when shoppers go into those supermarkets to shop, they don't buy just one item. They buy several items. And the savings from those zero-rated and so on goods, those savings add up. Those savings add up. Now, that is if those business people, especially with the zero-rated goods, pass on those savings to consumers. And I sincerely hope that the minister is keeping an eye on those things. In terms, lastly, gentlemen, quickly, in terms of the 2.5% levy that the government imposed for health and security reasons, I mean, Alan Shastney is trying to pappy show the government about that. And he ought to be ashamed, because the box that he built, the box that he called a hospital that he built, which cost $180 million and which wasn't even half finished yet, $180 million. Custody suites demolished, costing this government tens of millions of dollars to rebuild. New police stations being rebuilt and repaired, which he refused to do during his tenure. All of those things cost money, left the country, I mean, in almost close to $2 billion in terms of debt, if not more. All of that have to be paid for. This country has to get money to do the things that the government is doing for the benefit of the people. Where is it going to get the money for those things, especially after that huge debt left by Alan Shastney and his gentlemen? Listen, I have said it before, and I'll say it again. Alan Shastney goes into the House, or he goes on radio and television with his accented bravado, and talks a lot of stuff, obfuscating things left, right, and center, lying outright, hoping that people are going to swallow this kind of stuff that he's peddling, hoping that people will forget that he was in office for 5 years, and this is how he speaks, like he wasn't in office for 2016 to 2021, and people saw the kind of madness that he did there. But God is great, gentlemen. People will remember and they will not forgive him at the polls. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we continue taking your calls. Just about 10 more minutes left. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that mobile number. And we have someone on the line. Real Issues. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
We have responded to you.
I missed you all yesterday, but I was far from the radio or the phone to respond. I noticed it was nice, hot, and saucy. But I want to apologize today for not having taken fully some of your interventions and your opening comments, because I was a kind of caught up between listening to real issues and the thing that was going on in Parliament.
Yes.
I believe the things that are going on in Parliament, the average St. Lucians need to attach importance to it, because it is there in the Parliament, the laws, the debates, the lies and everything are being surfaced and propagated. So most St. Lucians, I believe, should listen to what goes on in Parliament. I just want to make a little quick intervention and remark on what I saw on the television screen, comparing Philip Pierre's approach and the recklessness of Alan Chasney that has actually, been shown from different sources, his friends, his own member in the party and things like that. Tell me something. If a political party has no philosophy, what do you expect?
That's right.
And I'm raising that because I heard it said on a video which Yadi some weeks or months ago played about Alan, and he was really saying, when they asked him certain things somewhere, he said has no philosophy. If you have no philosophy as a party, as a political party, and as an organization, you are at the mercy of the wind and the waves, and that is recklessness. Right. In that same video, it was also said, somebody somewhere must have been interviewing him. I heard him said that he was only trying something and hoping that the other countries in the Caribbean would emulate. Mm-hmm. What do you expect? Mm-hmm. If you don't have a philosophy and you're only trying something as a government, you have to expect recklessness, on that matter. Yes. We're running for time. I just want to say that I believe, and I've been following St. Lucian politics and involved in it for a very long time, from the time of Kenneth Foster. I can't remember what year it was. Yeah? Mm-hmm. But you see, this image and what I call it, I don't know English word, enigma, which we call Guy Joseph, I believe is the worst and dangerous individual to have appeared in St. Lucian politics on the things that he professed, as far as, and Shelton made a very good response to it. I heard it, he made a very good response. That is a very dangerous, worse thing to have to do and propagate, to try to relate the St. Lucia Labour Party to hate. He extended to crime and making the call or suggesting that voters should not vote on that basis. But for me, before I get cut out, I know the thing coming up. Probably you have not received the press release, but I suppose I'm in a kind of exclusive kind of position where I read a press release from the St. Lucia Civil Service Association, and in fact condemning the carnage on the Saturday and I think that is a very good thing, comes from the union as a body in civil society. But I want to advance, and I believe many people are of that view. Likewise, when we hear things that are said of policies of the government that are being put in place, we should also come out and hail it, flag it, so that our members know and understand that these policy issues and things by the government, any government, whether it is red, black, blue, or whatever, should come and also say this thing. That's all I want to say this time. We're running out of time. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank
you very much.
All right, I think we can take a couple more calls if they're coming. 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that. And of course, you can reach us on the landline, which is 4533911. You'll have to make it a bit tight, of course, because we are rapidly running out of time. But in the meantime, Terry, anything further from you to wrap it up? Because
Well, I just got a nice message here from one of our mutual friends, you know him very well, saying this thing about Titus is so apt. You know, he has placed himself in an untenable situation, coming from CARICOM there, as a man who is supposed to be a man of substance. And now he has to kowtow and bow, totally submit to somebody who he deems inferior to him. You have a call.
all right, let's take that call. Hi, Real Issues.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon, Terry.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah, I have heard something has been circulating, right the wrong. I have not understood exactly what that meant.
Correct.
Because you need to explain to the people, right the wrong. Explain to them what you mean by that. Because all you did was the opposite. So what's exactly writing the wrong? Is it you writing the wrong that you did? Or you're trying to say the guys do wrong things, so you're trying to right the wrong? Explain to me what the fellas meant by that.
Well, I heard something else. I heard
wrong the right.
I heard wrong the right.
Caller, we are just as confused as you
and
are.
I heard it more than once. you know.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
We have another call on the line. Real Issues. Hello.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Yeah, hi.
I'm Carlton here.
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
I was so pleased when you guys put up the list showing the before and after, following the policy intervention in terms of the VAT.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's just outstanding to show that the government policies actually have an effect. Contrary to what Guy Joseph, the Minister of Know-It-All, was saying, that it would not have an effect. And I think it points out to an important distinction in that the Prime Minister Pierre is measured in his policy, in his deliberations. He met with the chamber and told them what he expected, as opposed to when Alan Chastney did this, it was just out there in a vacuum. No consultations with people in St. Lucia. So it is, I was very, that made my day, that we actually have evidence. And I think that needs to be displayed to show that the policy is having an effect, the intended effect. Well done, Prime Minister Pierre, as opposed to the recklessness of Alan Chastney. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Let me say good afternoon to Mr. Kentry Frederick. He was one of the contenders, one of the hopefuls for the Vieux-Fort South candidacy, which was eventually given to Mr. Danny Butcher. And, Mr. Frederick is just letting me know that he is the campaign manager for Danny Butcher.
Wonderful,
So,
wonderful.
That speaks to a lot of cohesion.
That's right.
In the team as well.
Wonderful.
Before I leave, let me say a happy birthday to someone else, my niece, Ashanti Lauren Matter, who's residing in Canada. I don't know what's the possibility or the chance that she would be listening to the Real Issues, but she's always been dearly beloved to me and to so many others. So Ashanti, blessed love, as my good friend Rod Neal would say, to you and to your children, especially the one who's a little challenged health-wise these days, that she will continue to improve, and I do hope that we'll continue to be in touch even better in the days to come. That is the Real Issues for today, Tuesday, the 19th of August, 2025. Thank you so very much, everyone, for having been a part of it. Let's do it again, God willing, all things equal. Same time tomorrow from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM, on NBC Television, and on Facebook as well as YouTube live streaming. Till then, Real Issues powered by Blue Waters on behalf of Terry Fenelon and our technical man, Alton Jaquan Joseph. This is Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Large World, Double Daily Grand, 2, 5, 6, 9. Big 4, 2, 3, 1, 7. Big for multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 4, 1. Pick 2 multi-X, 2X. 1 off. 5, 4, 6. Lucky 3, 5, 6, 7. Lucky 3 Multi X, 2X.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.